I was just talking about Motaku. They gave us a small room for sword class, and the fire marshal hadn't shown up yet. And we had 450 people in a room with a capacity number of 135. It was so packed in, and no one would leave. And I was.
Are you sure that wasn't Nakakon?
The first time we were at Nakakon, we had the same problem. We had 250 people in that room, and that was like the first comment on their forum. Was the samurai people need more room? But no, we had so many people. We had everybody lined up facing this way. And the people, we had to stagger the audience so people could go one step forwards and cut and one step back, and they were swinging in between. And see, she moved. I don't even have a sword. I drew my brain. And it wasn't the full-time martial arts instructor that was swinging between people. It was them. Okay. What we're going to do, I want you to take the stick. If you're using one of the round ones, just a moment, almost all of these have writing. Japanese letters, kanji, closer to one end. That's actually the handle end. I know it's normally, for most of these, it's a little bit lighter end, and it feels counterintuitive if you're really going to hit somebody. We want to go baseball bat. But the thicker end is a little bit closer to what the handle would be. So that's going to be the end that you're going to use to hold. What I'd like you to do first is I just want you to take the weapon. I don't care whether you're right-handed or left-handed. If you were in Japan, we would all have to train. Don't do that. We don't do aerials. If you drop that. At my school, if a weapon hits the floor, it's 100 push-ups the first time. And I can't really do that at a convention. But if it hits the ground, you're going to see me cringe and flinch, and I'm going to have this whole internal war going on. Like, I'm going to kill him. I can't kill him. Do your butt. You can't do 100 push-ups. I have a stick. She's sitting behind the table so she doesn't drop a stick. I want you to take your dominant hand and put it on the, hold the stick out in front of you, put your dominant hand where the handle would be and find a balance point for the stick. You know what I mean? If you put that hand clear down to the bottom, it's going to feel a little bit awkward. Find a balance point with your dominant hand, right or left, whichever one you are. And then take your bottom hand, you're going to put it at the bottom of the stick. There should be 2 or 3 fingers width between your hands. Japanese swordsmanship, they separate their hands. You see movie posters and stuff, and they're going, wah! Please remember, actor, not swordsman. Different than baseball. Baseball, we put our hands together. If you're a contact hitter, you choke up. You can hit the ball accurately, you can't hit very far. And if you're a big guy that swings for the fences, you put them down at the bottom. You might miss more often, but when you do hit it, it goes farther. Japanese swordsmanship, you split the difference. They go this way, gives you push-pull dynamics, and it also lets you stop the weapon and change directions a lot faster, okay? All right, so now that you're here, what I want you to do is take the top hand, the dominant one, let go, turn it over, hold on to the stick this way. All right, now take your non-dominant hand, the one on the bottom, just take it off. You should be holding the stick like this. Awesome. We're going to take that. Can you guys do me a favor? Everybody take one step towards me so we're away from the wall and people behind us. Yeah, I still feel pretty safe. If you were behind me, I'd feel a little different. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and you're going to tuck it up behind your shoulder. Japanese swords are only sharp on one side, so we would be making sure that the sharp part is not actually touching you. The dull part is. And tuck it behind your shoulder. Please don't try to put it between your shoulder blades. Because this is kind of a position where you come back to the rest of it, swing it around, you tuck it. And if it goes between your shoulder blades, at some point you're going to take that sharp part and stick it in the base of your skull. And that's kind of a kill technique. If anybody's old enough to remember dissecting frogs in school, they had a technique called pithing, where you take a pin and put it back. You shouldn't do that to yourself. Alright, so this is going to be our ready position.
Keep your sword there. I need 7 of you, even with me right here, facing your audience. 7 brave volunteers. Everybody.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put the little kids closest to you, the ones most likely to actually let go accidentally and throw their weapon at night.
Go to the left.
Excuse me. Actually, it seems like all the kids did come forward.
I know.
All right.
It's because their parents are sitting in the audience. And this is also why they wait until Sunday to give us the sword class, because the convention's mostly over and all of you have paid already. So the con doesn't care whether you get hit, and I've already been paid, so I don't care if I get fired. So now we're just taking chances for the fun.
Now, the 6 of you should be standing in the gaps between the front row and my final 7 should be about here.
My final 7. And now we're back to that.
And you should be directly behind the
I'm
person.
an 80s hairband guy, but there was one huge arena song that I hated from a band that I just couldn't stand, and it was Europe. And the final countdown just annoyed me to no end. And so not only is that the song that seems to get played all the time, my son has it on his playlist and makes sure it plays at the dojo when we're doing cleaning the floors or between classes or cutting class. He makes sure that's on because he knows it gets stuck in my head. I can't get rid of it. I prefer Lady Gaga.
Your ninja clan is simple.
All right, Ninja Clan. Do we have anybody that's actually left-handed, or we all got the both in the right? Holy cow! Okay, good. Because we have never had what? Didn't put it in the hand. Whose child is this? No, I'm kidding. Did you notice the siblings and parents didn't claim him? He had to point them out. Like in a police lineup. And the cop say, yep, I'm sorry, you've been positively identified. You have to take you home. Okay. If you have the weapon in your right hand, I want you to take your left foot and put it in front. Okay, if you're dyslexic, that's the one on this side. If you do not have dyslexia, it's the one on this side. Okay, from here, for our first move, all we're going to do is we're going to step back with our front foot so we get out of the way. We're going to move backwards. At the same time, we're going to bring our right hand up. When we step back, we're going to slash with the sword. We're going to cut down on a diagonal, like this. Okay, picture someone coming at you going, "Rah!" and you step back and cut their throat. Because we're ninja. That's how we play. That's all we're going to do. And then we're going to step forwards back into our position. But the way you do that with me, I'll call it so we all move at the same time. Otherwise, we're going to have one person stepping backwards, one person stepping forwards. And before you know it, ninja shish kebab. Actually, that'd be kind of fun. No. Alright, we're going to do 3 times. Pretend there's someone standing in front of you. Actually aim this. It's going to be important in a minute. When we call for volunteers. Alright, stepping backwards. Ready? Each up, step back and cut down. Return, tuck it behind your shoulder. Good job. Ready? Let's do it again. Knee up, down. Step forwards. Once more. Do you see what happens? Your hand comes up before your foot moves. If you practice this a lot, for timing's purposes, you're actually going to move your foot and your hand at the same time, but your feet come to even at the same time your hand reaches outside of your shoulder. 1, 2. Okay, because if you do this, your enemy knows, hey, come down. And then you move, and it's too late. So it would be kind of the same time, but the sword tip should stop at the same time your foot hits the ground. Okay, it's kind of like a boxer throwing a jab. Hand goes through their head and out the other side, so the foot stops. Ooh. Once more, ready? Side, cut down. Okay, return. We're going to add to this now. Instead of just making 1 cut, we're going to make 2, so we're going to draw an X. So right here, we're going to step back. We're going to cut down, turn it over, and cut down again. This is going to turn your wrist over, so it's a little bit more dangerous. That's why it's awesome that you kids are in the front row. No one has ever thrown their Boken yet. That's why I said it. I plan on showing the first time and then going and standing over there. Still aim, okay? Don't go, bring it over. You're not trying to slap them with the flat of the blade. You're cutting down, turning it over, and cutting the other side. So looking at it from the side, your arm should stay in front of your knee. 1, 2. You bring it back here, everything in front of the sword is target for your enemy. 1, 2. Ready? Here we go. Stepping forward. No, I mean backwards. Good morning. Ready? 2 cuts. Each. Step back. Cut down. Cut down. Step forward. Still alive? All right. Knee. Step back. Cut down. Cut down. Forwards. I know your hand's going to start cramping. We're going to take a quick break after this. Before we lose our motor. Ready? Solid. Step back. Once. Twice. Don't step forwards on the second cut, okay? All right, for right now, that left hand, put it back on the bottom. Oh, let go for a minute. Work the cramps out. The Vulcan, sometimes, when you practice a lot, those don't start to bother you. But when you're actually using a steel sword, it's a cheap stage combat blade, so it's a little bit heavier than it's supposed to be. And you've been working hard all weekend and sweating and had leg cramps all night. Your hands are now cramping too. Not nice and playing. No! If I lose this, they'll lose all respect for me. And I'm not sure I can take all 20 of them with a stick. This is the only thing keeping the forces of darkness at bay. Okay, we're going to add a cut. All right? From here, we're going to step back, we're going to cut down, and then we're going to cut straight across. We're going to do a side cut. At the end of the movement, I want you to take your other hand. When we step back, hand should be here. Kind of protects your abdomen and your throat from getting cut. 1, 2, and then bring this straight across, like you're drawing a line, and either catch it like this, or better yet, especially at speed, flatten your palm with the back of the sword. See this? And so your ending position, the sword should still be pointed straight forward. So it would go through your opponent, but be right here. You can guess what comes next. Now, can't you? You can anyway. Okay? So 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3. And in your mind, if they're shorter than you, cut goes right here. If they're taller, cut goes right here. If they're freakishly tall, you're supposed to take it. Cut goes right here. You ready? Here we go. 3 cuts. Each step back. Cut down, cut across. Now you should be ending in this really super cool ninja pose in a deep stance with the sword like this. And people should be taking your picture and putting it on Facebook. And your parents can worry about you even more. All right, step forward. Let's do it again. Ready? Knee. Step back. 1, 2, 3. Step forward. One more time. Ready?
Sorry.
Solid. Cut down, bring it across. Are we menacing? Ooh, that's good. You know the dumb part is the samurai sword class is a lot easier than the ninja sword class, and when we do conventions, everyone's better at the ninja class. Stances are better, sword. I think you guys want to be evil. Okay, go ahead, rest for just a second. We're going to do one last move, and then we're actually going to break into partners. And we're going to put this to work. Okay, you already know where we're going with this. You start here, we're going down one side, down the other side, and across right here. The last move is a thrust. We're going to stab. Because the sword is coming forwards from an attached position where your shoulders are, it's hard to extend forwards like that and keep the sword straight. And if you introduce curve to that, there's a good chance you're going to miss or have it deflect off. So what makes the thrust, the stab, work 1, 2, 3. That nice crouch position you have, don't move your feet, but we're going to shift. You're going to lean forwards. Watch how much further the sword goes. From right here, just thrust. That's pretty much the end of where I can go. Shift. And there's a lot more power behind it, too. It's like trying to push a stalled car. Like this and pushing with your arms, you're not going to do very well. You're really pushing a stalled car. But unfortunately, I'm old enough, I remember doing that a lot. You get behind the car, you get low, and you push with your body. The goal is for this last one, that goes in one side and out the other. Okay? So from here, shift, and bring it back. You ready? School counselors hate me. You're just feeding their problems. Yeah, I know, but it's fun. Oh, remember, those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, teach gym. Those who can't teach gym, become guidance counselors. One of my students who just recently retired, because he's like 63, but he's been training at our school for 15 years, and he's awesome. But he's a school guidance counselor, and his wife was a school librarian. Most boring family ever. All right, are you ready? 4 strikes now. Ready? Each step back. Cut down, cut across, shift. And step forward. Let's do it a second time. Sword goes up behind your back. You didn't get very far out of place. But this girl looks serious. Second time through, ready? Knee, cut down, cut across, shift. It's okay as long as I hear bokens hitting each other. It's that kind of flap that's a boken hitting soft flesh that bothers me. Shouldn't happen yet.
This noise, you're smacking yourself. Stop it!
I don't want it.
Yeah, you should have been at the panel last night. This one's not up. All right, by that laugh, somebody was at the panel last night.
Actually, that was not.
Then it was clean and virtuous, and I did not do anything embarrassing that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
He's still looking.
I couldn't do that before. All right, one last time. Ready? Solid. Down, across, thrust. Right. Oh, relax. Mrs. Sensei, it's time.
Alright.
Partner exercises.
Partner you off. I don't think so. Siblings don't get to club each other. I'd like you to head down and meet on that.
One of the first things we learned when we opened a martial arts school, when it's time for sparring, you did not let siblings work together, especially girls. Every girl at our school is more dangerous than the guys.
I do.
Mostly because, and this is actually, I'm not trying to be mean, but the biggest reason why women did not serve as frontline combat soldiers was not because they couldn't pass the physical requirements, like the push-up or the bench press thing for the SEAL team. The biggest reason why women were not used as frontline troops is that studies had shown that women, once battle lines had crossed, became uncontrollable in combat and wouldn't follow directions. And you laugh, but one of my demo team guys was Special Forces Green Beret, and it was in his manual. And I understand it because when we're at school, we're doing kickboxing, we do Muay Thai kickboxing, knees and elbows, things. I have 2 guys sparring, and I'm like, all right, break! They do, because we're guys. We have this pack mentality. We understand how it works. You stop or I will make you stop. That's my job. And that's your position. 2 girls start sparring, and we're doing light contact, hands and feet only, with chest protectors and headgear, and the 2 girls are rolling on the floor, pulling hair, biting, and knee gouging for the groin. And I'm going, stop! Stop, for the love of God, break! And finally, I had to grab them by the back of their shirts and pull them off like this and hold them. And as soon as they were separated, one of them bit my arm. I'm not exaggerating. She clamped on right there. And the other one grabbed my arm with both and tried to kick me in the groin. And I'm like, sweetheart, stop that! and she yells at her sister and says, "But she started it." That's my wife and her older sister.
Hey, in fairness, my older sisters are evil, and everyone thinks their older siblings are evil. You can't fool me. But how many of you had older siblings that tore the heads off your Barbie dolls and buried them in the yard so you could play Treasure Island? I'm not alone!
I thought she made that story up until Christmas this year, because one of her niece's doll had a head, and both of her sisters came up holding this dismembered head and said, "Jill, do you remember when we used to play Treasure Island?" I'm like, "Oh my God, you really did that to her?" Their sisters are like, "Yep." And said, "And you wonder why she turned out like this?" All right, you are partnered with each other. Remember your space and who you're hitting. But for right now, turn so you can see out. Actually, so you have this one in the. Can I get you guys closer? Peel this way just a little bit. It'll make it easier for you to see. It's nice that the audience can see, but really who cares? All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have the good guy, that's the ninja. We're going to have the bad guy, that's the samurai person. The samurai person is going to hold the sword the normal way, which is how I had you find your balance point. So you're going to hold the sword in a forward grip. You're going to have your left foot in front, and you're going to hold the sword next to your ear, a little bit outside your shoulder. In Japanese, it's called hasso. It's a ready position for combat. You're going to start here. The good guy is going to start left foot in front, sword tucked up behind him, watching, and with this hand out of the way. This is not the right way to do sword combat. Okay? When we count, my wife is going to say, "Yoi!" Please don't confuse that. That's not yaoi. This means something different. In Japanese sword combat, yoi means prepare to be attacked by a sword. Okay, that's exactly what yaoi is.
Good boy.
Thank you. Anyway, on yoi, the bad guy's going to bring the sword up over their head. Overhead striking position called jodan. On each, the bad guy is going to take one step forwards and they're going to do a straight cut. They're going to swing right down the middle and try to split you in half because clearly the world needs to it. Okay? This is bad. When the bad guy steps forwards, you're going to step backwards. So even if everything else goes wrong, they miss. Okay? But while we step back, you're going to do that first strike against their sword. You're going to knock their blade down. So we're going to start here. And
Yoi.
up.
Each.
Got it? That's it. Don't go underneath. You're not trying to catch the sword like this. It looks really cool in the movies, but there is no structural strength there. First thing that happens, the blade is knocked down, and now she's cutting through your arm. Second thing that happens is it knocks your arm down, and it cuts into, well, right here. Third thing that happens is you're no longer in the movie. Okay? So the goal is to catch it, downward arc, and knock the blade to the side.
Please remember this is practice speed, so don't swing at full-on warp drive for their head.
It's practice speed Sunday morning at a convention.
Okay? And also, cooperate a little bit. Aim for them. Don't let them get out of it that easy. But when they make their block, because we're new to figuring out how to move with reverse grip parts, when they make their block, don't stand here and fighting back with them.
See, if my block comes in under it, I don't have leverage to move that cut.
If they make the block correctly, let them drive it out of the way.
And it's not as hard as we're making it sound. This move works amazingly well with classes at conventions. I'm always amazed.
So we have Yoi
Up.
and Each.
Knock it down. And remember what I said about keeping the blade in front of your knee? This is why. You knock that down. If you sweep all the way back to here, she's got shorter recovery time than I do. And I'm still going to lose. So we're going to cut and knock it down where it's in front. So if I have to, I can block again really fast. Or hit her back. Which is the next part.
But first up, we have to figure out how to block and live long enough to hit them back. All right, face your partner again for me. Now, if you are the one facing towards our studio audience, you're going to be the samurai first. Left foot in front, hold the weapon in a forward grip, and bring it up beside your right chairs. Left foot in front, you are the ninja with the weapon tucked behind your shoulders. Other foot. Little boy. Perfect. Alright, now, if you are the attacker, our samurai, please make sure, don't club your partner, but make sure you are close enough that with one step, you could actually put that sword over their head. Alright, we look ready to go.
Killer.
Ninjas, please remember you are stepping backwards when they strike. Jumping into their sword is the wrong way to end your Sunday morning. Alright! Samurai, Yoi, bring the weapon up over your head, ready to cut them in half. Ninjas, be ready. I'm going to count. They're going to step forwards and strike. You're going to step back and cut the sword down, blocking. Here we go. Each strike. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's try it again. Everyone live. Now we're going to get better at it. Yoi, weapons up. And each attack. Better. Again. Yoi, weapons up. And each attack. Nice. One more time. Gentlemen on the end, swing through the tip. Push the end of your sword to make your block. One more time. Yoi, weapons up. And each attack. Good. Alright. Everybody should be returned to left foot in front. We're going to trade jobs. You're not trading physical positions in the room. We're just trading jobs. So if you're facing the stacked chairs, you are now the samurai. Let's put the side here. And one small shift this way, so they have room to step back.
It's really cool. We're cosplaying last night.
All right. We look pretty good. Samurai, are you close enough that with one step you can put that sword over their head?
Smart.
So yeah, Linda, you might be really close. One step, not just reach out. All right.
And then I'm
Without moving your feet.
born to be king.
Joy, bring the weapon up over your head. You are the samurai, you're preparing to cut them in half. Ninja, please remember to step backwards. Here we go. Each. Good. Good. All right, let's try again.
Stand right behind him, and I went.
Joy, weapon up over your
And it's
head.
not you.
And each attack. Good. All right, again. Can you make sure the gentleman on the end steps in? Here we
Gentlemen.
go. Joy, weapon up.
Aw.
And each attack.
Yep, what she said
One
was
more
going
time.
to step. So your job from right here is to step this way so you get close enough that you can make that block and you make you nervous.
All right, last time. Joy, weapon up over your head. And each attack. Nice. All right. Remember where you're at. But we're going to add to this.
Okay, so same thing. Middle rows, separate a little bit so you can see. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to add that second movement. So we start the same. Here, Joy comes up and good guys, you better be ready. On each, she steps forward, you step back and swing. On knee, we're going to do the reverse, and you're aiming for right here. If this were actual combat, you're going to shuffle back in. Okay, because when she steps and you step, the goal is to match centers, so she misses. We get the sword out of the way, and so we knock it down and quick shift in, and you're laying the sweet spot of the blade right against the throat and throwing it across. Hopefully, that's an air embolism and done right away. Fight's over, we're closed. Thanks for coming. Be sure to tip your waitress. For the class, to make sure nobody gets hit, no shuffle. Okay, you're just using them as a guideline. Bad guy comes in, 1, 2. See how that still misses without the shuffle? That means you did the step back correctly, and nobody gets hit. But don't just knock it down and go, move. Because if you could see the track on that, it went over her head completely, and she's still smiling because she knows I'm an idiot. Okay, knock it down, bring it back over, because see the look? You know why? Because that one went right over the shoulder and arced down.
Alright. The safest thing for you to do when you are the attacker. Where are you going, Ninja? Come back here.
It's your turn, I'm not going to be here.
Retreat. When you are the attacker, the safest thing you can do after they knock the blade out of the way is hold still. Okay?
the blade, you're going to bring it up and drive it into your own face. So
once they knock the
basically,
sword out of the way, just hold still. We're going to take turns. You'll get a chance to hit them back. Wait,
yeah, I think you phrased that a lot like I do.
Alright. Facing your partner, if you're facing the audience, you are the first samurai. Left foot in front, weapon up by your ear. You are facing the chairs. You are the ninja. Weapon tucked behind your shoulder.
Samurai.
Alright. Like hair on the edge. Let's switch roles. If you're facing that way, you're the samurai. Same with last time. Alright, everybody should be left foot in front still.
There you go. Sword up. I know when you watch the movie posters, you always see them holding the sword down here. There are two reasons for that. Renaissance festivals, European sword groups do this because that's how it was drawn on the plates from German mercenary books. This is a guard position, not a combat position. For standing post. And if you see it in Japanese movie posters, that's because they want, when you get close up on the actor's face, they want the shiny part of the picture, because just this looks dumb. So you see this a lot. This is not a I can attack right now position. But right here, when the Japanese warriors were wearing the kabuto, the war helmet, got the sword out of the way, so if somebody came darting in really fast, you could go, bang! No, bad. Positive reinforcement.
Alright,
Negative
please
reinforcement.
remember you are stepping
I guess it
down.
depends on which end you're on.
I think it's adversary first.
Yes, sir.
Joy is up. Each is your block. Knee is the return.
Can you be more specific on which one's your
Here
son?
we go.
Just go by color.
Joy, weapon off over your head. You're gonna split in half. Here we go. Each attack. Knee, kill him. Remember your feet, Joe. You'll go on that part.
Oh,
First
the
leg
one-
uses as a target.
Yes.
Try
And I'll help the
again.
young man right behind you, too. Okay, you ready?
Joy, weapon up.
Up by your ear.
And each attack. Knee, reverse it. Nice. Again.
You got the movements. I want you to get in order, though. I should hear your voting. Knock it down, okay?
Joy, weapon up. Each attack. Knee, reverse
Don't
it.
go under. If you go under the sword, that means from here to here, you didn't do anything to stop it. And that's pretty much your entire body. You want to try to hit it, knock it out of the way. Your job is to step on it.
Alright, one
You
more
do this,
time.
no, step, literally, so you change your... No.
Joy, weapon up over your
She's
head.
jumping.
And each step. Knee,
She's
reverse
galloping.
it. Nice. Alright, we're gonna trade jobs.
Thank you.
Other person is now the samurai and new ninja.
New ninja.
Make sure if you're the ninja, you have room to step backward without running into anything or
We're wearing the
anyone.
right shirt to a ninja class.
Alright, samurais, make sure you're close enough to reach them with one step. Alright, here we go. Yoi, weapon up over your head. And each attack. Knee, reverse it. Reset. Make sure you aim your strike. Here we go. Yoi, weapon up over your head. Not attack them yet. Yoi is prepared.
I'll bet that never happens in class either. Ready? Bow! Your partner bows and you just lash out and punch. Which is why when you train correctly, those tatami mats on the floor that are 6 foot 6 inches apart, that's how far you're supposed to be for empty hand. So when you bow, they can't reach you with a punch or kick without moving in the center. It bothers me a lot going to martial arts tournaments and seeing people bow each other from right here. It's too late for respect. We were at a judo demonstration at the University of Iowa, and 2 third-degree black belt instructors went to bow to each other to show their moves, and they hit heads. Not lying, Cultural Diversity Days, February 2009.
Alright, let's try this again.
I wrote it down because it was just kind of a seriously 3rd-degree black belt, 8 years of training, and then you knocking yourself out bowing.
Nice. Alright, let's try it again. Yoi, weapons up. Each attack. Knee, reverse it. Nice.
The worst
One
part
more
is
time.
at the time they outranked me.
Yoi, weapon up.
Like, you didn't learn the first thing about the kitchen ever is don't get hit.
Nice. Alright.
I'm not trying to train. I'm getting out of the way because that's the first time I learned this. Because I figure if you learn that, you have time to after us. Hi! I get you to the next move. All right. take on a little bit different dimensions than just cutting through somebody who maybe, oh, I don't know, is tied up like this. Not really a fair fight. I like it because the odds are ever in my favor. From here, each, you're going to knock it down. Knee, turn it over, cut the throat. And on the third cut, you're bringing the blade across. If you're doing a midsection cut, the odds are your hands are there. Sometimes you can inflict a mortal injury on an enemy, and they're not going to drop. We have anybody here who's ever been deer hunting before? You shoot them, you put in the kill shot, they don't drop. They run for a mile, and it's never towards your car. It's a way, okay? So this is a good way. Knock it down, cut. This goes right across your arm, so they drop the sword. Or, if you're really tall, that guy comes in, you stay tall. Here, and then right there. Because that's how you do it in the zombie apocalypse. And if they're really tall, and you're not, 1, 2, you reach out to the throat, and then here, and you're catching the femoral artery on the inside of your lead leg. All 3 targets still translate the same way into English. It's called I win. Okay, make sure, knock the sword down. If you don't, your options are more limited. Make the cut. And then go here. You want to end right here. And you can do it this way. You can catch it this way, too, if you want. The only reason why we don't do this one as much, it's going to feel more natural early, is that under speed, especially when you're sweating, you've been working hard, that's going to slide, and you have a chance to actually disarm yourself by smacking your other hand. This works better. Okay?
So our counting scheme. Joy, each, me, sound.
Okay, it's a ninja class. Sound effects are not optional. You don't get to do them over ninjas.
Alright, first attacker, the one facing the audience. Say that's the last attack. Our ninjas should be facing the chair, stacked chairs. No, die on the end. You're the ninja. Perfect. Make sure your sword is perfect. There you go.
That's right. If you're both doing the samurai part and stepping forward, you're going to hit each other.
Looks pretty good. Here we
Funny.
go. Attackers, joy. Bring the weapon up. And each. Me, reverse. Sun. Got those. Oh, wait. Reset.
You're really encouraging them to hurt each other?
Alright. Joy, weapons up. Each. Block. Me. Cut. Sun. Got.
Wow. You know the fun part is, it's funny if she's bloodthirsty and talks like that. If I did, conventions would be more nervous and wouldn't hire us.
Nice. One more time.
So I talk nice and joke and do someone teaching you how to do that. And then it's cute when the girl's going, got him! Put their head on a spike. Oh, that's cute.
I love all of the extra.
She's some more loose or
Beware behind you if the fighting actually does break out.
difference is I know Kate, the guy that played.
Alright, great job! So you're facing the stacked chairs. You are now the samurai. Facing the audience, left foot in front, you are the ninja. Alright. Yoi, weapons up. And each attack. Me, reverse. Sun, got them. Reset. Remember, your second strike should still be a downward triangle with opening throat.
The next move, when it's just one, it's hard to. Okay, good. Right, I was going to warn you that Dr. Who regenerates, but you don't. And notice when he does regenerate, he's never the same person.
Could be a
All right, last part.
Last part, because this is fun.
Okay, now,
We have joy.
all right,
We have each.
knock it down.
Knee.
Cut the throat,
Sun.
cross the hands or disembowel, not from right here. Because we did not shuffle on the second strike, we're safe to do this. On the last movement, you're going to come forwards. Your goal is to take the sword and you are aiming it right for the top of the sternum. Okay, I know that sounds weird, but in class that means if you mess up, you poke your partner in the middle of the chest with a stick and they go, "Ow, that was unpleasant." If you're a lady, "Ow, that was unpleasant and a little awkward." But it is not a trip to the hospital. If you aim for the face and mess up, we're no longer doing ninja sword class at this convention, ever. Okay? Against an actual opponent, you're doing the same thing because it lets you go fast. And you're going here, and it is a slightly ramped angle, so you're going to catch the sternum and ride it right there. Where the collarbone meets, that little hole, that was made to the tip of your sword. Or, shut up! Get back here! Or, as your opponent sees the strike coming, from right here, the only thing she can do is lean back. Look where that goes. Here, here, and out. Okay? Not nearly enough.
Alright, our counting scheme is joy and then each, knee, sun, and sheep.
And then, victory dance!
Alright, face your partner! Backwards facing the audience, you're the samurai! Awesome, yeah, got it. Alright, joy, weapons up! And each attack! Knee, reverse, sun, got them, she, skewer! Nice, alright, again! Joy, weapons up! Each! Knee, sun, she! Nice! Alright, trading jobs! Other person attacking! Make sure you have room to step backwards on your block! Left foot in front to start! And joy! Weapons up! Each attack! Reverse! Sun! Knuckle! She! Skewer! Nice! One more time! Joy! Weapons up! Each! Sun! She! Nice! Alright! No sword clash would be complete if we didn't have an epic death scene. Are you guys ready for your William Shatner moment?
Oh! No!
Yes!
Power up.
Really?
Alright, how this works. We're gonna let the first person attacking. The samurai gets an epic death scene after they skewer you. Okay? You can be as loud and grotesque and silly as you want. We ask though that you keep a hold of your bow and do not fling it across the room.
Your death scene should not involve civilian casualties.
And try to stay mostly contained to where you're at. Mostly.
We have so much fun making fun of that guy.
Facing the audience,
So
you're the
iconic.
samurai. This is
And
your
actually
death
aware
scene.
of.
Ninjas at the ready. Joy weapons up.
Right.
Each. Sun. She.
Finish him.
Oh yeah!
Strike.
Alright, ninjas at the ready! We have joy weapons up! Each! Knee! Sun! She! you in martial training for not actually clubbing your partner unconscious.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you actually like them. It's just kind of a mutual thank you for not dismembering me when you had the opportunity. Now you can go back to hating each other. Okay. All right. Look, you guys have been absolutely amazing. This is yet one more ninja sword class where we did ridiculously dangerous things because most martial arts schools in this country still won't teach weapons because of insurance purposes, because of, well, things like that. Don't do that. You made it all the way through class, and now you're going to put that between your legs and lift up. Look, if I did that, that's a one-time move.
It's called natural selection.
I know, right? You guys were awesome. Thank you so much. There was good movement and fun and no accidental bloodshed. I need you to put the tokens back on the stove, bring it back to my wife. If anybody's interested in more sword stuff, we have a ninja sword DVD, samurai sword DVDs, and other things to help support what we do. For the audience, Jessica Calvello is in here next. The downside to putting a multi-talented voice actress at a discussion panel in a room that was just used for swordsmanship, there are no chairs for people to sit. Can you guys do the convention a huge favor? Pick up your chairs and just roughly arrange them in rows facing the stage so Jessica has an audience.